welcome to Passport. In this edition, we'll take you to an island off the shores of northern Germany. You'll go down south to historic Hallstatt in Austria. And we'll show you how to take a family vacation right outside of Stuttgart, Germany. But first, the ancient Romans built many fortresses throughout their old empire. The Saalburg is one of them, and it is the only one that you can see that's totally reconstructed. The reconstruction was started in 1898, and great care has been taken to copy the original. The Saalburg is one of the northernmost of the fortresses. It lies in the Taunus Mountains close to Frankfurt, and its history is one of a border town. That's because by the middle of the 1st century B.C., the Romans had conquered the territory up to the Rhine River, France, Belgium, and western Switzerland. The only thing that was stopping them now was the Germanic tribes. About 2,000 years ago, when you looked past this, what has to be a 2-foot thick wall, you could look out and you'd see nothing but forest and the lands of the ancient Germanic tribes, because this was the border. In the years 117 through 138, a cohort of about 500 men occupied this fortification. And as with any military installation, there was a headquarters building. This stands right in the middle of the fort. In this building, you will see excellent examples of Roman sculpture, ancient glass, and prehistoric finds. As you stroll along in this ancient fortification, you can't help but feel like it's almost a time machine. It really helps you to relate to how it must have been to be a Roman. For a closer look at Roman artifacts, go to the former granary, now turned museum. Inside are tools, weapons, and best of all, leather and organic objects. Many of the wood and leather articles have survived the ages thanks to the Romans dumping them into the many wells in and around the fort. The damp mud in the wells preserved the articles, and this is the only place in the world where leather goods and wood objects have survived from the Roman era.
Most of the time you won't find any organic materials because they are gone in the earth, and especially here they were found in the drought, and it was wet there. And so the water kept especially the leather finds, and they are a special attraction of the Saalburg. You'll find inside the museum quite a lot of shoes, for example, shoes you will never see in any other place.
A closer look reveals the golden rings worn by Roman warriors and their women, glassware of all types, and an entire collection of coins. The coins are all originals, and although it may be difficult to make out some of the faces on them, they still represent many of Rome's greatest rulers. And what would a Roman museum be without the weapons of war? You can see an actual mask, helmet, and spears used by Roman warriors to defend the fort from the Germanic tribes. The demise of the Saalburg came around the year 260, when it was abandoned and the country up to the Rhine was occupied by the Germanic tribes. Then the fort fell into ruins and in the Middle Ages served as a quarry for the local peasants. The Saalburg is a great place to bring the family for a day and is only a few kilometers outside of Frankfurt. Now, AFN Bremerhaven specialist Susan Budzina shows us another ancient culture. This one is a little bit more isolated.
We were invited to spend a weekend in the Baltic Sea resort town of Grossenbroda with the wives and children of deployed 280 forward soldiers. What we found was a small, hospitable community deeply rooted in tradition. Grossenbroda was first mentioned in the year 1249, built by the people of the Venden. Armed conflicts influenced the history of Grossenbroda. The settlement belonged to Denmark for a while in the early 1700s before becoming independent once again. Grossenbroda was joined to the island of Fehmarn in 1963 when the Fehmarn-Sund Bridge was built. Since then, the main sources of income for the region have been tourism, the restaurant industry, and agriculture. When you visit Grossenbroda, you can stay in grand hotels, seaside apartments, or inexpensive pensions. Wherever you stay, there's lots to do.
Ja, Sie haben natürlich ein ganz breites Spektrum von Aktivitäten, die speziell maritimen Charakters sind.
Naturally, you have the wide spectrum of water sports like sailing and windsurfing, but there are also many activities on land like horseback riding, golf, tennis, and bike riding. There's a lot to do while vacationing here, and of course, you can just sit on the beach and enjoy the sunshine.
We started our weekend off with a visit to a local swim bad. Not your average swimming hole, to say the least. It's a great place for the kids to splash around while the bigger kids relax in the whirlpool. Now here's an idea. Enjoying the picturesque countryside with good company and the comfort of a horse-drawn carriage. Besides, it provides a great opportunity to pose afterwards with the horse and driver. When it comes to nightlife, there are ample bars and discos that bustle with activity along this main strip when night falls. You might even try one of the local drinks. It's called Jägerling. Okay, this is how you make it. First, you take some Danish corn. Ice cold. It's the best way to drink it. Pour into glass. And then you add a fish. You want to try some? Are you sure? Well, take my word for it. It has a very interesting flavor. You'll probably only find it in the Baltic Sea town of Grosenbrode. Nearby Potsgarden is known as a major point of debarkation to Denmark and back. Ferries leave on a regular basis and provide breathtaking views on deck and lots of duty-free shopping below. Season for tourism in Grosenbrode runs from May to September. But any time of the year, Grosenbrode is a beautiful seaside resort town that can be as exciting or as peaceful as you want it to be. We thoroughly enjoyed our visit to Grosenbrode, and so did several of the 284 spouses we talked with.
I think I will try to find my way back up here because it's very, very nice.
We're going to come back for vacation this summer. It's great. He's going to love it. The water sports and the skiing and the fishing. It's beautiful here.
At the end of the show, we'll show you an address and phone number you can use to get more information about the northern German resort town of Grosenbrode. Now, if you can't make it to Germany's northern resort area, Kevin Dixon says there's lots to do with AFRC's spring and summer programs.
As winter in southern Bavaria melts away, it reveals the lush green valleys and mountains of the Bavarian Alps. The reawakening of the Alpine scenery means a return to the summer activities of the great outdoors. And at AFRC in southern Bavaria, that means the return of a variety of summer sports and recreation programs. All of AFRC's summer programs are underway by May 1st. AFRC's programs are geared to teach you from the ground up. And even if you've already taken a basic Learn to Sports Week at AFRC, there are other programs that go beyond the basics for those of you interested in developing more advanced skills. If sports are not your cup of tea, then there are tours. AFRC's spring and summer tours take you to points throughout southern Bavaria, Austria, and northern Italy. When traveling outside of Germany, make sure to bring the proper documentation for crossing the border. The place to go for more information on AFRC's travel programs is the Tours office. Tours and sports information is also available at the front desk of your AFRC hotel. A little later in the show, we'll take a look at ways of exploring the striking Alps of southern Bavaria. But for now, let's go back to Leonard.
Thanks, Kevin. Now, some of you may prefer science over the great outdoors. And if that's the case, Air Force Sergeant Frank Krebs says that he has a space expo that's just for you.
For space technology buffs here in Europe, there hasn't been much to see in the way of space exhibitions, and that changed in June of last year with the opening of the European Space Agency's Noordwijk Space Exhibition in the Netherlands. The expo is nestled on the outskirts of this small town, just 10 minutes from the North Sea. Once you get to Noordwijk, finding the exhibition is easy. Just follow the signs. As you enter the actual expo, you take a step back in time.
We tell the story of space from the original starting point in old civilizations up to the year 2000 and further on, and we tell what went on in space, space flight, space science, and space technology.
Ground control to Major Tom.
The Expo is a combination of science, information, and entertainment that allows you to see up close what the European Space Agency is all about. Telling the story of space takes imagination and flair.
We tell the story by means of photos, genuine space pictures, but also by means of genuine space hardware like rockets, like original satellites, engineering models, testing models, by rebuilding scenes that have been famous in space flight, such as the 20th of July 1969, where Neil Armstrong put his foot on the moon as the first man ever.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Of course, the Expo concentrates on the European space program, but the contributions of America and the USSR aren't forgotten. The job of the Noordwijk exhibition is twofold, as an information center in a museum-style setting, and
the other function we have is to serve as the official visitor center of ESTEC. ESTEC being the European Research and Technology Center of ESA. And ESA is the European Space Agency, which is in Europe the main institute to monitor space program developments.
All of the placards are written in English and Dutch, making it a popular stop with international schools.
We are developing some 15 letters now, but I must confess they're only up till now in Dutch. But that doesn't take away that a lot of the international schools in Holland, American schools and international schools, are quite willing to visit Noordwijk Space Expo.
The expo is open Tuesday through Sunday, 10 to 6. The entry fee is 10 Dutch guilders per adult, or just over $5. For children, the entry fee is 7 Dutch guilder 50. Group rates are available, as well as discounts for the elderly. The Noordwijk Space Expo is an interesting and exciting place to visit, as is the next stop on today's tour, the Tripsdale Park in Stuttgart. From the Noordwijk Space Expo, I'm Air Force Sergeant Frank Krebs, Passport.
It all started with a mill. Legend says old women enter here and leave young and rejuvenated. Now, the Altwebermühle, or Old Woman Mill, is a part of the 40-year-old Tripsdrill amusement park. Situated in the wine country of southwest Germany, the park has grown from the mill to a theme park that covers nearly 4 square kilometers. The park takes its theme from the surrounding vineyards and forests, and many of its attractions show the history and culture of this part of southwest Germany. Shows featuring animated figures abound throughout the park, and while the dialogue is in German, youngsters will still get a thrill just watching all of the talking pigs, horses, cows, and other characters. Small children are not forgotten here. There are a number of attractions geared just for them. Among them, a petting zoo where children and adults can get close to the animals and even give them a snack. The Fisher family has operated the park since its founding in 1951. Our host for the day was family member Helmut Fisher, who told us more about Tripsdrill.
At Tripsdrill, we have over 55 attractions on over 450,000 square meters of land. Seeing the whole park and enjoying everything will take a whole day. You should come early.
This is a great place for young families with small children. You won't find numerous thrill rides here, but many rides and attractions that appeal to those that prefer a slower pace. Moms and dads can take the children on just about any ride in the park. If your preference for amusement park rides leans towards the more thrilling, Tripsdrill does have some rides that can make your heart beat a little faster, like this roller coaster. You could take a spin on the coffee mill, where a trip in a coffee cup can leave you dizzy. rolling toadstool, which sets you revolving, rising, and falling around the stem of a mechanical mushroom. But then you can recover with a trip around the park by horse-drawn carriage. Admission prices to the park are reasonable. A family of 4 can spend the day here, enjoying all of the attractions and having a nice lunch in the guest house nearby for about $60.
Hey, honey, say hang on.
Herr Fisher tells us the weekends are extremely busy throughout the summer season, and if you don't like crowds, he recommends a visit to the park on a weekday, with Friday the least busy day. I'm Air Force Sergeant Rich Ray, and hope you can visit Tripstro with us sometime this summer, Leonard.
Thanks, that sounds interesting. Let's go down to Berchtesgaden right now with Lon Blair, who shows us another vacation that you can take with your family.
Thanks, Leonard, and welcome to Berchtesgaden, home of the former American Forces Recreation Center. These days, it's known as the Usurer Soldiers Recreation Center, Berchtesgaden, USRCB. And while the name may have changed, the attraction, the beautiful Bavarian Alps, remains the same.
On a bright, sunny day with a clear view of the stunning mountain ranges, you'll understand why Berchtesgaden is often referred to as the jewel of the Bavarian Alps. The Berchtesgadener land, as this area is referred to, is home to some of Europe's greatest natural treasures. Berchtesgaden is located about a 90-minute drive southeast of Munich. The city itself lies in an alpine valley and is characterized by narrow cobblestone streets lined with quaint Bavarian architecture. This picturesque village atmosphere is home to the new Usurer Soldiers Recreation Center. The center provides Usurer soldiers and their families 3-day mini vacations as a way of saying thanks, not only for a job well done in Southwest Asia, but also for being the keepers of the peace right here in Europe. The vacation includes free transportation to and from Berchtesgaden, 2 free nights lodging in either the General Walker or the Berchtesgadener Hof hotels, plus free taste-tempting breakfast and dinner buffets.
I think they'll have a friendly, hospitable environment. They'll find good, solid accommodations, clean, friendly, helpful staff. They'll find excellent food. They'll find a good variety of recreational programs that they can take part in.
For nighttime entertainment, they head to the Final Round Sports Bar. Located in the Berchtesgadener Hof Hotel, the Final Round is rapidly becoming the area's top nightclub. With cold beverages on tap and a disc jockey belting out the latest in hot music, the Final Round is the final word and a place to relax and make new friends. Combine scenic beauty with free room and board, and you end up with some very happy soldiers.
Well, I thought there was going to be a catch or something, you know, because they get us off of work, but it's cool. I like it. It's a lot of fun.
I haven't eaten yet, but I heard the food, it was pretty good, and I like the place. It's relaxing. Yes, I do like it. Plus, it's free.
I think it's an excellent idea. It's a lot easier for people to come down here because it's already set up for them, and everything's already laid out for them, really. And it's a really good idea for the soldiers to say that some people are looking out for them, that they do care about them, and hope they are having a good time.
With so much to see and do here, it's difficult to find a place to begin. We started at the tour office operated by USRCB. It's located right down the hill from the Berchtesgadener Hof Hotel and is chock full of information on places to visit during your stay.
We provide you with tours, of course, like to Salzburg, to the salt mines here in the vicinity, Pretty soon we're heading up to the Eagle's Nest, as well Lake Königssee, and Third Reich history as well took place once in this area, and that is the bunker tour we offer.
There's much more to see and do here at the Usuer Soldiers Recreation Center in Berchtesgaden, but unfortunately that's all of the time we have for now. Remember, USRCB is America's way of saying thanks to its soldiers and their families for a job well done. And with free transportation, lodging, and breakfast and dinner buffets, it's a program you won't want to miss. For more information on how you can take advantage of this great opportunity, contact your unit commander.
Hiking through the Bavarian Alps is a time-honored tradition. These days, hikers share the trails with mountain bikers. Kevin Dixon from the American Forces Recreation Center Public Affairs Office has this report on how you can mountain bike through the Alps this summer with AFRC. Kevin?
Enjoy recreational sports at AFRC this summer that get you next to nature. There's so much beauty to see throughout the mountains of southern Bavaria that you may wonder what's the best way to see it all up close and personal. Hiking definitely gets you close to the scenery, but if you wish to travel through the mountains at a slightly faster speed, then consider mountain biking or a whitewater adventure. The pace of these sports can be just right. They don't carry you along so fast that you miss the very thing you've come to see, while at the same time, these sports can get you into the heart of the countryside where you can view the splendor of this wonderful region. With the sport of mountain biking, AFRC has guided tours that take you throughout the areas around Garmisch and Chiemsee. Tours can be geared for novices, families, and experts. The trails you ride range from the valley floor up to more than 5,000 feet. Normally, AFRC's bike tours last a day, but there are some rides, such as the Zugspitze Hike and Bike Tour, where you'll spend the night in a mountain hut. Bike rental and guide fees are included when you take an AFRC mountain bike tour. But you may want to bring along a backpack with extra clothing and water. The guided tours are offered only in Garmisch, but bike rentals are available in both Garmisch and Chiemsee for self-guided tours. And for the hardcore biking enthusiast, AFRC sponsors a mountain biking race in the latter part of the summer. The grueling course definitely tests your stamina, and the biking competition comes in 3 parts. There's the race with a variety of categories, then there's the obstacle course, which tests your balancing skills. And there's also a hill climb competition. Check with AFRC's Mountaineering School for details on future races. Before you tackle a whitewater sport, you'll need to get lessons so you can learn how to safely travel the rivers of Austria and Germany. AFRC's Water Sports offers daily whitewater training in the sports of rafting, kayaking, and canoeing. Daily whitewater rafting at Garmisch offers immediate access to Austrian rivers and includes safety lectures, paddle and stroke demonstrations, river excursions, and raft captains. Also a popular water sport at AFRC is kayaking. There are daily and weekly kayak courses. The weekly program starts out on a calm alpine lake where the basics of this unique craft are taught. You'll find yourself progressing rapidly, and before you know it, you'll be taking runs down fast-moving rivers. Your 5-day program includes all instruction and transportation to and from the training area. Equipment is available for rent at a nominal fee. Canoeing is a more leisurely sport than either rafting or kayaking. It's available only at AFRC Garmisch. After a morning at Lake Eibsee learning canoe safety, you'll be set free to cruise down a Bavarian river at your own pace. For sports that take you into Austria, bring along a passport or border crossing documents. You can get college credit through Big Bend Community College for many of AFRC's Learn to Sports programs. Check with your local education center for details. AFRC also has accommodations for you when you come to Southern Bavaria for your vacation. Stay with us for reservation information later in the show. And now let's go back to Leonard for the rest of Passport.
Thanks, Kevin. From AFRC, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump down south to Austria to the ancient city of Hallstatt.
On the road in Austria. A land of soaring contrasts. Where men have drilled tunnels through mountains. Building roads to take you from the towering heights to Hallstatt.
It's definitely a picture postcard.
I think it's beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful.
Welcome to Hallstatt, a picturesque village on the shore's edge at the foot of the Dachstein Mountain.
Well, it's the way it's set up. If you've been around the area already, everything is sort of just built up on a ledge. You can sort of overlook it, and it's got a real pristine and also kind of almost like fairy-like environment to it.
I want to get as many people down here as I can. It's just, it's like seeing a postcard in person. It's hard to believe that there's something this pretty so close to home.
Hallstatt is 4,500 years old, and it's got so much history and so much to be learned here. We have the museums, we have the church, we have the bone house. We've got the oldest salt mines in the world. We've got the ice caves, which are natural ice caves. And there is so much to see, so much to do, and never a dull moment in Hallstatt.
The history of Hallstatt is based on the salt mine at the top of the mountain. You can walk up or ride the cable car, but either way, you're going to see a view that might just take your breath away. And to get back down, be adventurous. Take a running leap and soar back down to the valley floor. Staying in Hallstatt does not have to be expensive. Sure, there are plenty of inexpensive hotels, but there are also camping facilities a mere half-mile from the lake with everything you could need, including a small store to buy food from. The center of Hallstatt is the Market Square, which often plays host to a fest or two, but be careful getting to the square as the streets are very narrow and sometimes steep. Perhaps one of the most intriguing sights of Hallstatt is the Chapel of St. Michael, a romantic small church located next to the parish church. And while you're there, go around the back and visit the Bone House. The house exists because the cemetery is so small that 12 to 15 years after a burial, the remains are exhumed and placed in the Bone House for safekeeping. It's quite a sight, but no cameras, please. Hallstatt has an ancient history of not only salt mining, but handicrafts. Along the shore, you will find shops and craftsmen offering handmade glass, leather, and metalworks. For a quiet time, head out onto the lake. You can rent an electric or a rowboat inexpensively, and once out on the lake, see the city in a whole new way. After your day is done, visit the local sauna, where you can bask in a whirlpool and soak away some of your tensions with a few of your newfound friends. You'll find that the one thing that really makes Hallstatt special are its people.
The people themselves have the same mentality. They're very, very friendly. They accept with open hands the Americans, their family. It's just a friendly place to be.
That's Passport for this month. Thanks for being with us. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Specialist Leonard Buchanan, and I'll see you again next month on Passport.
For more information on the Trips Grill Park or the Stahlberg, write to the German Tourism Center, Beethovenstrasse number 69, D6000, Frankfurt 1. For more information on AFRC programs, write to Central Reservations Office, Headquarters AFRC, APO 09053. And if you have ideas or suggestions for Passport, please